Joseph cuts class, Venom 3, Let There Be Floppage, and it looks like VHS is back on the menu, boys.
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call! Bueller?
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller?
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kim left to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello, classmates. Welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Pete.
And I'm belting. God.
Easy there with that water.
And I'm Tyler.
I thought you were the Wicked Witch of the West.
I'm the Wicked Witch of the Tyler.
Oh, okay. And I'm David S. Pumpkins. Any questions? Yeah, and as you can see, no Joseph today. We have a little shake-up, and we're joined by, on VHS, straight from the Retro Media Archive downstairs, The Boogans from 1981.
Whoa.
Yeah, so we're going to be watching The Boogans. Bruce says, what is Tyler, Troll 2? Yeah, he's that weird witch.
Yeah.
The weird witch that turns people into trees from Troll 2.
And preys on young boys.
That's right. Well, I mean,
That was a sexual awakening for
art,
me.
art imitates life in that case, right,
Yeah.
Tyler?
Yeah.
So welcome to everyone on YouTube Live and otherwise, and of course, the OG classmates out in podcast land.
Yes.
If you're not joining us on the YouTube, you could see our fun costumes we got.
Yes.
And-
I'm wearing a trash bag and a witch's hat, and I painted my face green.
Yeah. Tyler, move around a little bit for me. Tyler chose the costume with the most movement to volume ratio.
Well, it was really hard. It was really hard to get a replica of the Wicked Witch of the West dress. Is it a dress or I don't know what it is. It looks badass though. Like she has like the shoulders. I got the shoulders kind of correct.
The shoulder pads?
Yeah.
I think it looks good.
Yeah.
And by the way, Tyler you didn't tell me at all that you're showing up. I just
No.
answered the door and I have this witch
No.
looking at me
No, I like
with a beard
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was
And
a
a-
little bit closer to
and a
the
tiny
face.
hat.
Yeah. Well, the tiny hat, there is a reason for that because we have to have the over-the-ear headphones.
Yeah.
I was going to have like a regular witch hat, but I thought that doesn't logistically make sense.
Yeah, that's
So,
true. But Joseph is out foraging for mushrooms on a camping trip.
I didn't take him for a camper, but there he is in the wilderness, roughing
Yeah.
it.
I love camping. When was the last time you camped, Tyler?
Jeez, I couldn't tell you. I mean,
Favorite movie set, horror movie set while camping?
favorite horror movie set camping?
Yeah.
Oh, it's got to be Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th?
Yeah.
Not,
I mean, like
not the
that-
Blair Witch Project?
No, because that's I
I guess they're not really camping. They kind of forced to camp at some point.
They were forced to survive. But like I really liked Friday the 13th in the sense that I mean, like it's an abandoned summer camp.
Yeah.
And so
I think it's still active at the time, the first one.
is it?
Yeah, Camp Crystal Lake.
Oh no, you're right because they're
Yeah.
they're the future counselors
Yeah.
and they're gonna go. They party before
Yeah,
they
have
the kids go
premarital
in.
sex and do drugs and things. Yeah, always fun. I'd probably say Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. Not quite camping, but they're in a cabin.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
I would say that's an underrated. It's underrated.
Yeah, I think
because
so.
I think a lot of people overlook it, but like when you watch it, it's.
You think Alan Tudyk horror? I don't know, but
I don't think
it's
anyone's
so good.
thinking that. But
All right. Anyways, let's get right into some Gab and Chatter.
Find some charity, ye lad. Now's the time for gab and chatter.
Gab and Chatter, movie news of the week. Tyler, lead us off.
all right, so I just learned this week that there's 3 Venom movies.
Oh yeah.
I only thought there was one.
Oh, okay. Which one?
there's
The
a-
one that's coming out now.
Well, yeah. So Venom 3 is called Venom 3: The Last Dance, or no, it's not even Venom 3: The Last Dance. It's Venom: The Last Dance.
Oh, okay.
And I was thinking to myself, okay, so we have the Joker. What was it called?
Joker 2, Folia Do.
Folia Do. Yeah, like we have all these musicals with these like, faux DC not superheroes, but like
Yeah. Properties.
character properties.
Okay.
And I was just thinking, did anyone even really care for the first Venom? Like, I know it was kind of like a surprising feature to come out, but
I never seen him.
like I saw a little bit of the first Venom and I turned it off because Tom Hardy's accent in that movie was horrendous. It really took me out.
I have a question. Can I pause your story for a second?
Go ahead.
You said you're only aware of there being one movie, but you said you know about this sequel coming out.
Yeah,
And you've also seen part of the first one.
so I saw part of the first one. I saw part of the first one.
You see where I'm going with this?
I saw part of the first. I saw part of the first one.
Okay.
And then completely ignored it. Like it went out of my mind.
Okay.
And then I was on Variety.com and I saw that there's a Venom 3.
Oh.
And I was like, wait, hold on.
Okay, so you didn't know about Venom 3 coming out.
Yeah, I didn't.
We talked about it on the show a couple times.
Oh, we did.
That's okay, though.
Wow. Well.
Tyler just waits for his turn to talk.
Well, anyways, this is going to be probably the lowest box office of the Venom trilogy, Venom: The Last Dance.
Yeah.
So in the previews, because everyone knows that movies come out on a Thursday night, and so that's like considered the previews.
Preview screening, yeah.
Yeah, and it only made $8.5 million, and it's expected to make $60.2 million.
What was the budget?
The budget was $120.
$120? $120 million, you mean?
No, $120. The third movie carries. This is from the article.
You realize that's a typo, right?
This is from the article. The third movie carries a fairly modest $120 production budget.
Okay.
Yes, I know it's a typo. I was trying to do a bit on that.
Okay.
But can you imagine $120 for this series?
Well, there's people that they kind of make their way making, but like ultra low budget movies that are like $500 or less.
Yeah, well, the first movie
And they
launched.
go to Tubi.
Well, it's interesting because the first movie launched with $10 million in previews because everyone was like, oh, I mean, everyone was clamoring for a Venom movie, including myself.
You
And
were?
then- Well, yeah, because Venom's badass. Like, if you ever read like the Spider-Man comics that included Venom in it, he has a really cool character design. And then it made $80 million in its open weekend. Like, it made its money back. And then this is the one that surprised me was the sequel. I
Okay.
didn't even know there was a sequel. It was Venom: Let There Be Carnage.
Yeah.
And that's involving the character in the Spider-Man universe, Carnage,
Yeah.
who is a serial killer who gets infected by the symbiote.
I love the Carnage character from the animated series.
Yeah, really badass. And a lot more just murderous.
Yeah, he was a true sociopath where
Yeah.
Venom kind of seems like a yuckster. He seems like Deadpool in a way.
Yeah,
Like he's chaotic evil, but
Yeah.
maybe a little more chaotic neutral.
Yeah. So I was just thinking to myself, I think the marketing for Venom was not that great. I think that so it's interesting that you bring up Deadpool because with Deadpool, I don't think anyone was asking for a Deadpool movie except for Ryan Reynolds.
I was going to say just Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, Ryan. I was gonna say except for Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
And he made it work.
Yeah.
Like I saw Deadpool 1, Deadpool 2, just really great fun films. I haven't seen the Deadpool v Wolverine one yet.
It's just Deadpool and Wolverine because they're not like fighting; they're together.
I've seen clips of it and
It's so good.
It looks really
It's
great.
so fun.
I think I might rent it.
Once it
tonight.
goes to like free streaming, I'll let you know so you can
Yeah.
watch it because
So-
it's. I mean, I'm not going to say it's worth a $20 rental, but it's one of the funniest movies I've seen in years. So I mean, but it's going to go on to Disney Plus eventually.
Yeah. I mean, so what I was thinking though with this whole Venom story was, are we in the end game of having these like, I don't want to say side characters, but characters that only like comic book nerds would like know and appreciate, because I feel like the comic book movies, like, they're out the door now. I mean,
Well, no one cared about Iron Man before the Iron Man movie was made. And he's not necessarily a small character. He's a main character.
yeah.
But Guardians of the Galaxy is made of side characters. The Suicide Squad is made of side characters. You got stuff like Static Shock, great TV show.
Yeah, that was a good TV show.
Black Dynamite, that was a comic book, I believe. Unless the comic book came after the movie.
But Black Dynamite, I sell drugs to the community. I just think that, like, I think this is kind of like the final nail on the coffin with you have the second Joker that was a flop, and now you have Venom 3
Maybe.
flop. I think we might be on the horizon of either even more obscure comic book characters, or they just scrap that idea of having obscure comic book characters as a main character in a franchise.
I think that's what they should be continuing to do, because like the X-Men series, the interesting thing about that show or the comic itself is that there's so many interesting characters, and like they all have different personality traits. Hey, Joseph says, what's up? And Joseph says, hey, interesting placeholder for your third host. Yeah, it's the Boogans. Hold on, no, we have. Let me cut to the Boogans here real quick. Oh yeah, what's going on over there? Ooh, somebody's in the house. Maybe it was a boogin.
It was a
Or more than one boogin. Multiple boogans, if you will.
I think I mean I like the idea of comic book character movies because there's an industry for it, like as far as like the budget, as long as they're done well. It's kind of like collecting comic books in a sense, like every week there would be a new issue of like Batman or whatever.
That's what I'm saying. You're contradicting yourself at this point. You're saying that's the end of it.
Well, but that's what I'm saying.
But that's the interesting thing about comic books.
I think there's a fatigue within the film industry with the comic book like series of characters. And with comic books, like there's always going to be a market for that. But with film, though, that's obviously like a bigger budget.
Yeah.
And
I think it's just you already have half of the writing done. Like you don't have to come up with a character wholesale from scratch.
Right.
So it's.
But you have to have something that entices a general audience.
Sure. I mean, like I said, every X-Men has something interesting about them. Rogue has a tragic story. Jean Grey turning into Phoenix, that's an interesting story, which was botched by Fox or whoever it was that made the dark Jubilee. She's interesting.
Yeah. Let's make a show. Come on, Disney Plus.
Nightcrawler's interesting.
Nightcrawler
the Beast is interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, Nightcrawler's he's had a really interesting story arc in like I want to say X2.
Yeah, it was like in 2 or 3 or
I think it was 2, and Alan Cumming played him.
Yeah. I remember
he was great. He was one of my favorite characters in the X-Men series. I played with him in the arcade game.
Yeah. Because he can turn into smoke.
Yeah, well, he teleports. That's
is
what
that
it's teleportation. Yeah, he teleports.
Because in the movie, he just turns into smoke and he goes through like the crevices of like doors and stuff.
Yeah, he teleports to another. No, he doesn't turn into smoke. He teleports. It's just where he was. It poof, a blue little puff of blue fog or whatever.
I thought that was badass.
Yeah, it's cool.
So yeah, I think Venom 3: The Last Dance. I think that
it's the last. It's the last dance.
I think it is the last dance for these
side character movies. Yeah, maybe.
Well, I mean, because we have Robert Downey Jr. playing
Dr. Doom.
Dr. Doom, which I thought was a very weird,
Dr. Dumb.
Weird choice.
Joseph says, interesting choice for Tyler to do blackface as a costume. It's green face, Joseph. Green face.
Jesus.
I actually had a message got sent to our Facebook group, our Facebook Messenger, that from listener Steven. He says, I love Tom Hardy, but the Venom movies do not need to exist. He saw the third one and he said they do not need to exist.
The only Venom that I recognize is Topher Grace.
Anyways, you good?
Yeah, that's all I have.
Okay, cool, awesome. All right, so my news story is that what the heck? I went right to Joseph again or Tyler again. Here we go. There we go. Everything's shaking up right now because I'm sitting in Joseph's chair. I'm trying to be video producer and audio producer today. Okay, cool. So for my news story, we have the Alien Romulus kind of phenomenon, one of the highest grossing horror movies of the year. And it's the newest of the Alien franchise, it started 45 years ago. And for this release, Fox or 20th Century, I don't even know. Yeah, it's 20th Century Fox. They're releasing the movie on VHS with a 4:3 aspect ratio.
Wow.
Yeah, really cool. And there's,
They know their audience.
yeah, well, we'll see. I'm gonna buy it because I collect VHS tapes.
Yeah, I know.
And I
knew you would.
Yeah, absolutely. And now it's going to be limited release, and when the time comes and the actual VHS drops, I hope that there's not going to be like a run on them, and we're not going to be able to get a copy if you want to get one, that sort of thing. But we'll see. So it's coming out, and they're using one of the cool things I liked about this series when the advertising was happening was that they had commissioned like 10 or 15 alternative posters for the movie from various artists. And this one was from the one that they chose to use is it's a really cool, it looks like the alien creeping down like the long hallway.
Yeah.
Joseph said he had a Dynamite costume if he would have been here. Well, shouldn't have been camping.
Yeah. Shouldn't be camping.
But this artwork comes from an artist named Matt Ferguson, and it's pretty good. I really like it. I'm not sure about like the box design, but I honestly don't care about box design. I'm not a person to sort of pick it apart. I do know that the Steelbook release for this is a release that they didn't have a poster from before. They took like 5 of the characters and just like superimposed them on top of each other, like how the Marvel posters are.
Yeah. I think I saw that.
I think they call them floating head posters.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look good. Yeah, it's like, I'll just wait for it to come out on 4K, so I'll buy it on 4K and VHS. But I just thought it was really cool, a VHS release from a major studio.
I mean, I think VHS is definitely seeing a resurgence. It's been a slow burn resurgence, though. But I feel that a lot of people are starting to appreciate like the analog sort of technology that was in the past. Because I mean, maybe it's through a nostalgic lens.
Yeah,
I mean, for myself, it is. But I think that there's a little bit more character when you watch a movie through.
It's like listening to something on vinyl. You hear the hiss and the sizzle from the.
Well, and it's also the process of doing it too. So, like, you have to get the vinyl out, you put it in, and then you have to find the grooves. Like, it's like the whole like ritual of doing it.
I liken it to making tea. Brianna likes to make tea, and she likes to drink tea, but I feel like she likes making it more than she actually likes to drink it.
Right.
Because a lot of times she'll make the tea, and then it just sits there. And I'm like, you took 2 sips of the cup of tea. And she goes, yeah, but I like making it. I like brewing the water, or heating up the water, choosing my tea leaf, making sure the temperature is right,
the whole, like,
steeping it.
And it's like the whole ambiance of it. Like, I mean,
the pageantry.
Like, you could apply that to like any activity you do, like for your daily routine. Like when you, let's say, like I get up and scratch my back a little bit. I'm like, walk to the kitchen, drink some milk out of the carton. Like, it's all about the set and setting of everything, and so that can apply with like VHS.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you?
What are you talking about?
It's just
scratching your back in the morning?
Yeah, you just go up and you're like...
Yes, I understand what scratching your back looks like. Yeah. How is that pageantry and process?
I mean, I don't know. It's just it's the human condition.
It's the human condition.
Okay, right. All right, so anyways, the whole point of this, the reason why I wanted to bring this up is, for one, I think it's cool. For two, Angry Otter says, no VHS, gross. He'd rather have the nostalgia for Laserdisc. Laserdisc quality is good. It's like basically Blu-ray. But what
is it really?
Yeah, but
I've never watched a Laserdisc film before.
I mean, the discs are huge.
Yeah,
it's like the size of a vinyl.
They're like a record.
Yeah. Speaking of Angry Otter, before we move on any further, he says that where is his list here? Okay, he says, Tom Hardy played my great uncle in Lawless, so it was kind of ruined Venom for me. I just now see him as my uncle. And I asked him what that was, and he says, yeah, Lawless is about my family. Tom Hardy played my great uncle, a real life character. That's pretty dope.
All right.
Yeah, the character that gets his throat cut.
I'll take it at face value right there.
Yeah, that's awesome. So anyways, question for you, Tyler. If you had to guess, when was the last major studio released VHS? What year? Because there's boutique labels right now.
Yeah, of course. There's but the
Major
last
studio.
major was it
Just
Star
give
Wars?
me a year.
A year.
Give me a year. Yeah.
2003.
So the last actual studio release, it's debatable, but most people point at A History of Violence from 2006.
Whoa.
As the last studio release.
I would like a VHS of that.
Also in that same era, right around 2006, Saw 2, Just Friends, Jarhead, Ice Harvest, Yours, Mine, and Ours, Pride and Prejudice, Domino, Doom, and The Legend of Zorro. Those are a bunch of different genres that all came out right around 2006 on VHS. And then if you want to go even deeper into it, Disney had a thing called the Disney Movie Club exclusive. And that's basically a club that you'd sign up for, and they'd send you a new movie every month. Mm-hmm. And that movie was an exclusive release to the Disney Movie Club. So in 2007, The Wild was released in November 1st of 2006. The Little Mermaid Platinum Edition was released January 3rd, 2007. But that's a older movie, obviously.
Yeah.
And then Cars, which is a 2006 movie, was released in 2007 in February, exclusive on VHS. So that is technically the latest release from any movie. It was still 2006 release, but it was actually out in the market in February of 2007.
Makes me wonder that Disney recognized that market, that people are gonna start collecting VHSs.
Mm-hmm. Angry Otter says Star Wars Episode 1 was the very last Laserdisc made.
What? Really?
That's cool. That was 2001, I think, or 2000?
Yeah, it came out. Yeah, it had to have been 2000 because it came out in 99.
Yeah, 99 for Episode 1.
Yeah.
So maybe it was either 99 or 2000.
Wow.
That's interesting. So now, where do you get new VHSs for all those people out there that are like, I have a VCR. I want to get some new movies. I don't want, I can go down to the Facebook Marketplace and get a bucket of tapes for $10 of
Good
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Jurassic Park. What was the other ones that were really popular?
The Patriot.
I'm sure, yeah. VHS classics. So I'm going
Braveheart.
I'm going to give you a few retailers right now that have authorized releases for modern movies. So the first one is called Lunch Meat. It's lunchmeatvhs.com, and you can just click on their VHS section. And the stuff that you're going to get there are pretty low, non really notable movies. The one that I know of from this list is Frogman on VHS. It just came out not too long ago. It's getting pretty good reviews. I think I have the Blu-ray coming right now. I pre-order for that.
Oh my
god. Creep on VHS, not that one.
Nice.
Blood Freaks VHS, The Undertaker and His Pals, The Sadist, Kim's Video, that one's sold out. Hollywood Dreams and Nightmares, The Robert Englund Story on VHS. Huh. So some smaller stuff, documentaries, indie stuff, but that's lunchmeatvhs.com. And then these other two are retailers that I've actually ordered from, and they have pretty much bigger named releases. So this is witterentertainment.com, and that's WITTER entertainment.com. And they have the original All Hallows Eve, Before the Terrifier, Deadstream, Destroy All Neighbors, Terrifier 1 and 2, Suitable Flesh, Return to Sleepaway Camp, The Void, Relic, nice. Psycho Gorman.
I saw a Creepshow on there too.
Mandy, VHS 99. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff on here. Deathcember, Black Friday, Creepshow animated and holiday specials on VHS. So there's all kinds of these. I have Psycho Gorman, The Void, Relic, and Mandy from this retailer, and it's really cool to watch Mandy on VHS or Psycho Gorman on VHS.
Never seen Psycho Goreman on VHS, but I do love that movie.
Good. And then lastly, the third retailer that has actual licensed releases that you might have heard of before is Raven Banner. So you just go to Raven Banner Stored or ravenbanner.store, and they do they have all kinds of stuff. They have Blu-rays, they got apparel and stuff, but they also have VHS. Frankie Frico, that's the new one from Astron 6. They're the people that did Man Borg and Psycho Goreman.
Okay.
So that's on VHS. It's a pre-order right now because that movie just dropped. They have the Man Borg 10th anniversary VHS. I have that one. Come True on VHS. I have that one. And Turbo Kid. They got 3 different releases for Turbo Kid. So these are some. There's more. Looks like The Breach is coming out. Maybe that's going to come out on VHS. I don't know. Excuse me. But yeah, those are 3 retailers that you can actually buy new release VHSs. Obviously, they're not major studios; they're smaller stuff, but some of them are things that you might have heard of or might have even seen.
I mean, I've always been an advocate for VHS since I was a teenager. I think it goes back to what you were saying about your beloved making the tea. Like, it's all about the process. You get the case from the shelf, and then you pull out the tape, sniff it. You're like, and then you put it in.
That's right. See, we got the boogans. We got the case right here, leaned up against the TV, ready to go. And the quality looks like crap in this video. It looks better in real life, but
I mean, that's like the cool thing about living in the future is like we can have like all this technology like with like instant like media, but then we also have the option of going back to our childhood with VHSs.
That's right, we do. So anyway, those are the Alien Romulus. It's going to drop in December. There's no like actual date yet, and there's no word on where you're going to have to go to actually get a copy of it. But I hope it doesn't sell out before I get my shot because I really want to get a copy.
Yeah.
So, anyways, you ready for some streaming fix?
Yeah.
Movies.
Wanna watch a movie?
Yes, I do.
Disney Plus. Oh, HBO Max.
If I don't get the pick, show's over.
I have grown accustomed to Hulu Plus.
Amazon Prime.
I like Netflix.
You found the pick.
Streaming picks. Movies that we watched on our streaming services this week that you can watch on yours too. Tyler, give us some streaming picks.
All right. For the season of October, I watched The Thing streaming on Amazon Prime, which I know I've stream picked probably countless times. But
right.
I had I'm not going to even go over the story. Everyone knows what The Thing is about.
No, some people don't. Which one? Is the original or the remake?
No, not the original. The remake.
Wait.
John Carpenter's remake of The Thing.
Oh, John Carpenter's remake. Because there's another remake.
Is there?
It's like 2007 or something like that.
No, that's a prequel. That's the prequel. I know what you're talking about. That's a prequel.
But it's still called The Thing. Yeah, I was right. 2011.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I said 7. I don't know. So the 82 version.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, got
it. So I rewatched that. That's streaming on Amazon Prime. And I mean, it's just a solid movie, especially for nighttime, and especially when it's cold. Because the place that I'm currently residing at right now, like, it gets so cold.
Do you have a heater there?
I don't use it.
You were asked politely by your boss to not use the heater.
I don't use it. No.
Is that by your choice or were you requested? Give us the goods. I want to know.
No, I refuse to use the heater. I like to stay cold. And so I was watching the Thing. Had all the lights off. Just the my computer screen glowing in front of me. The movie, like it's so crazy how it stands to this day. I'm not saying like, if you released it today, it would still be as popular as it was back in the 80s. I'm not saying that, but it's kind of like Indiana Jones, where it's a timeless classic. Especially for this kind of weather that we've been experiencing recently. It's just a really good moody film. And what got me thinking though is I never really thought about it, but at the end where it's Childs and McCready who are stranded after McCready foolishly burned down the whole base and all the supplies
Foolishly.
Yeah.
Why foolishly?
Well, I mean,
You're trying to kill the monster.
The thing,
Yeah, the thing, the titular thing.
Yeah. But he burned down all the supplies and everything. How are they going to survive? They only have a bottle of booze between the two of them, and they're sitting out there in sub-zero degree weather.
It's a one-way trip, Tyler. That's called selflessness. It's called looking out for the good of humanity, my friend.
Well, regardless, it got me thinking. This has been a debate for as long as this movie came out. Was any of the two of those individuals the thing? And John Carpenter has come out and said one of them is the thing, but he will never reveal who it was.
It's like Werner not giving us the audio tape of Tim Treadwell getting eaten by the bear.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
This is a tape that no one should ever listen to.
Oh, God, I want to listen to that tape so bad. So it got me thinking, who is the thing? So now the theory is that Childs is the thing because McCready, with the bottle of booze, he actually put gasoline in the bottle.
Okay.
And so when he drinks a little bit because, you can drink a little bit of gasoline and be fine.
Yeah, we all do that.
But then
on the
he
weekends.
yeah, exactly. But he gives it to Childs. And Childs takes a big swig of it. He was just like, "Damn, you fucked up." And McCready, he kind of laughs a little bit. Uh-huh. But now I saw a theory on the internet just recently that the reason why McCready laughs is because McCready is the thing. And when he hands the bottle to Childs, he's like, "Yeah, you done fucked up."
Okay. What do you think?
So what I think is, I think neither of them are the thing.
But that's not true because John Carpenter said so.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
John,
it's just his opinion.
Yeah,
he only created the thing.
I mean, because he didn't say anything. Maybe that's just a deflection. He's like, "Oh, well, one of them is the thing." And she's like, "I don't know, John.
I don't know, John. I know that you're the creator of this beloved property. But I got my opinions too.
Can you imagine just sitting in a room, just "I don't know, John. I don't know what you're talking about."
I can imagine. I'm sitting next to somebody who's doing that right now.
I mean, yeah. So there's a bunch of theories about both of them are the thing, one of them is the thing, or neither of them are the thing. I think that none of them are the thing. I know John Carpenter said one of them is, but I don't know.
But he's a liar. He's a liar, and he should just die already.
It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that one of them. Why? Because when did the thing ever get in contact with either Childs or McCready? If you think about the ending of the scene where they're doing the blood test. Yeah, this is a blood serum test. Mm-hmm. At what point does Childs or McCready even get in contact with the thing? I mean, I didn't see upon rewatching it, I didn't see them interacting at all, or even getting in contact with the thing. But maybe that's a little bit over my head. What do you think?
We just don't know.
We just don't know.
Yeah. What do you think? Who?
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck at all.
It's not about giving a fuck. It's who do you think is the thing? I
don't care.
It's not about caring. Or
it is.
not.
I'm telling you right now. I don't.
Okay.
Because either of them could be. That's the great part about the ending. Either of them could be.
Yeah,
neither of them could be.
It's very ambiguous.
It leaves it open to you to figure out.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I think the movie was just a really well-paced film as well. It's
awesome.
Just watching it, it's just straightforward, beginning, middle, and end. And that beginning scene of the helicopter of the Norwegian guys trying to shoot that husky. You're rooting for the husky, not knowing that it's the alien.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just, it kind of reminded me of, okay.
What? What?
It reminded, you know what? No, I'm not going to even finish this thought.
Is that your only streaming pick?
No, I have another one.
Okay, good.
2002 Scooby-Doo.
Oh, wow. Scooby-Doo. I watched this last week. I didn't talk about it, but...
Yeah, that movie is wild.
So where's that streaming?
That one is streaming on Amazon?
Okay.
Or Max.
Are you asking?
I mean, I put on like the dashboard of my Amazon Prime account and I saw it and I watched it. That is a wild movie, man. Mm-hmm. It's has such a very sexual undertones to it as well.
Yeah, it does. It's streaming on Max and Freevee.
Yeah. So like when I go onto my Amazon Prime account, like I have like the Max channel on there, and it shows all of the Max stuff as well.
I'll do the research for you.
You didn't have to do the research. I'm telling you right now.
No, I do though, because our listeners don't have your exact Amazon Prime dashboard.
All right. Well, fine.
I'm just trying to tell them where to find the movie that you're streaming.
Screw them then.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Wonderful.
But yeah, the 2002 Scooby-Doo, that is a wild movie that I can't believe that got released. Like, it was very sexual. Mm-hmm. Matthew Lillard was the obvious choice to play Shaggy. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're thinking about a Scooby-Doo live action remake, Matthew Lillard was the perfect casting.
It was great
choice.
casting, yeah.
And Freddie Prinze Jr.
That's Fred.
Yeah.
Perfect. Fred.
Like all the casting choice was just incredibly great.
I figured
the story was a little bit weak though.
Yeah.
I think like the whole I wouldn't say meta. I guess it's kind of meta in the sense that like they are known like in the public eye as being like mystery solvers. I didn't really.
That's not meta. It's just that's within their universe.
I think.
Meta would be if they were commented on that they're a cartoon, but they're actually live action.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. And they're on Cartoon Network or something.
I think, yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. I just think, I think the idea of them like being like renowned as like mystery solvers was a little bit of a turnoff for me. It would have been a little bit more.
They have a van that says Mystery Machine on the side. They solve mysteries and they talk to the public about it.
Yeah, I don't like that. I wish that
that's
because
canon.
If you think about the
canon.
If you think about the original like Scooby-Doo cartoon, like they're just a bunch of teenagers, having premarital sex, smoking pot, and solving.
I don't know if that's canon.
These like these mysteries that no one needs solved. Like it's so ridiculous. But this was in the this was like in the like infancy of like parody like scary movies or like the parody movies.
Okay.
And so I think that it gets lumped into those, but I think that there was a really great idea for an adult themed
I want to say there was a rated R cut, or like it was supposed to be rated R, and the studio had to tailor it back for the right audience.
Hanna-Barbera was like, yeah, no.
George Hanna was like, I want more. I want to see skin, baby.
I think he has a credit in
the
as a writer. I think
well, they have to because they created the characters.
Yeah. So so 2002 Scooby-Doo rhymes kind of a little bit.
Yeah.
2002 Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo 2002. Tyler streaming pick now. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. I could go on about it. I could probably do a whole episode about that movie. That is
save that for Tyler and Company.
That's a freaking wild movie.
It is. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Also, the earliest instance I've ever seen of Isla Fisher.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She's a stone cold babe.
Yeah.
Always has been. Always will be.
I mean, I'm more of a Velma kind of guy, but
yeah. Well, what is that actress's name again?
Oh,
Velma. She's from. She's in.
She looked familiar. I didn't look up the actress.
I always forget her name. Oh gosh, what is it? Let's see if I can find here. Scooby-Doo, Velma, Freddie Prinze Jr. Oh, Sarah Michelle Gellar as Daphne, Linda Cardellini. That's it. Velma. Yeah, she's a fox too.
Yeah. So
and Mr. Bean. I forgot Mr. Bean's in this.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was in that.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, great.
Okay.
ridiculous movie.
Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna piggyback right off of that and talk about the most surprising movie that I watched this week. Is a short. It's only 20 minutes long, I think. It was a movie produced by Cartoon Network to go in between Scooby-Doo marathons as a bumper.
Oh,
it's called The Scooby-Doo Project from 1999.
Oh, is that the Blair Witch Project
it is.
parody? Oh.
It's a Blair Witch Project parody.
That one's funny.
It's live action with cartoon characters, the Scooby-Doo cartoon characters, superimposed onto the video. It is delightful. It basically follows the mystery machine gang. What do they call themselves? Do they call themselves something? Mystery gang?
I don't think so.
The gang?
I think it's just the gang. Yeah.
Hey, gang, let's split up. Yeah. And they go, it follows almost beat for beat the story plot of the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
They start in the town outside of where these things are happening. And
there's like the camcorder thing.
Yeah, it's like handheld found footage style. And Velma's the one recording, and she's kind of talking to the townspeople. And they're all talking about these monsters that they keep seeing in the woods. And they go out there, and obviously Scooby and Shaggy are scared, and they don't want to go out there, but they give them Scooby snacks. And it's really, really fun. I liked this way better than the Blair Witch Project. Way better. Like, not even close. And it has a very similar, I'm not going to ruin it, but there's a very similar story arc to the monster from the Scooby-Doo movie from 2002.
Okay.
So I have to believe that some of the 2002 Scooby-Doo movie took inspiration from this, because this is meta. This is like they're talking about how their cartoons and their tracks they're following on the ground. It's real life footage, and they're seeing tracks of like a creature or whatever, and then they look over and there's these like jet black cartoon style tracks of like Scooby's feet and their feet, and they're like, wow, dude, there's some more monster tracks right there. And they look over and it's like cartoons, and they're like, no, Shaggy, those are our tracks. See, they're cartoons. It's like so funny. It's so good. So you can stream this on YouTube. I'll have the link in the show notes. It's streamed for free. And it's just it's such a weird thing. And I found this from Force 5 podcast dropped their 5th annual Halloween episode. And they do he does a list and brings on a guest or two. In this case, two guests who are like curators of Scarecrow Video up in Washington. And they that was one of their wild card picks was the Scooby-Doo Project. And I thought, that's right up my alley. Brianna loves Scooby-Doo. We're a big Scooby-Doo family in this house. So it's from 1999. I'll put the link in the show notes. Next up, a classic horror that I watched from 1984, the original Children of the Corn.
Oh,
this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is streaming on Amazon Prime, AMC Plus, Arrow, Hoopla, Plex, and Shudder. So easily accessible from Amazon Prime.
Really makes you fear children.
I don't know, man. Like, I was watching this and I'm like, if I was there, I would have beat the fuck out of those kids. I would have no shame. A child comes at me with a knife, I'm kicking him in the head.
Like, I mean, it only takes 15 pounds of pressure to break an arm. So.
I'm just saying, it's like, there's a couple of the kids in this movie that are kind of tall. They're corn-fed like country kids. Yeah. And then there's a bunch of like really young kids that are probably 10 or younger. Yeah. And they're coming at their protagonist with like a sickle, like a scythe. Yeah. Like a harvesting hook.
Yeah, like a scythe. Yeah, it's a scythe.
I don't know if that's the correct term for it, but it's like a handheld sickle. Yeah. And I'm like looking at him like, just kick the kid in the face. His head height is like to your armpit. This guy's also the main character. He's like also very tall. He's a tall, lanky doctor who's in good shape. Yeah. Easy. One step back, one step forward, kick the kid in the head. Boom, it's done. Knocked him out. I don't care if there's 12 of them. Just rush the smallest child that you can see, knock him out, and run.
See, I thought the same thing when I rewatched that movie like a couple of years ago. Uh-huh. Like, oh, you know what? Like, I would have just fought all those kids. Yes. But you have to think about the scenario though, because they're lost, right? And they come across.
Yeah. Let me go with the plot. So the main character, is a doctor, and he's on his way through Nebraska to go start a new job a couple states away. Yeah. And he's traveling cross country via his Buick, his old square body Buick. And Linda Hamilton plays his girlfriend who wants to be his fiance. She keeps dropping hints that he needs to propose. And they are driving along and they're looking at the map and they're like off the main highway to try to get around traffic or something, which makes no sense. And they end up in corn country. They're in Nebraska. Corn's everywhere. And they're looking at maps and they go, where's this town? We can't see it on the map. And da-da-da-da. And they're both, of course, staring at the map while driving. And then a kid comes out of nowhere and they run the kid over in fantastic fashion, like destroy this child with their car, their Buick. And he's left like an eighth of a mile behind them by the time they stop. And they're like, the woman's like, oh, it was an animal, right? We should just keep going. And you're like, he's a doctor. He goes, no, we gotta go check this kid. And what had happened was he was a defector to this community, the Children of the Corn.
Yeah.
And some years prior, at the beginning of the movie, you are opened with this mass slaughter scenario. It's like after church one day, all the kids just decide they're going to kill all the adults.
Yeah, it's just Lord of the Flies,
they
but horror version.
slaughter them. It's like it's like the prison killing in Breaking Bad or the opera killing in Godfather 3, where it's like it's like a timed thing. They're going to kill all the adults in one shot.
Yeah.
And they poison the coffee in the diner where everybody's drinking after church. Kill everybody, and it's like that's a fantastic sequence. It's so good. You don't see the gore, but it's all right there, and you feel it. It feels real. It feels like icky. So flash forward a year, there's a couple like young kids that just don't believe in this like weird religious cult that's going on.
Yeah.
And Isaac is the main kid. He looks like he could be 14 or 40. Turns out he was 24 when they filmed the movie, but
Was he really?
Yeah, he's supposed to be playing like a 15-year-old or 14-year-old kid.
Well, I mean, that tracks because
and then there's Malachi, who's this tall, enraged redhead who just is out for blood. He's like the hitman.
Yeah.
So at some point, the guy who stumbles upon this community because he sees the kid who he hit and he thinks, oh, I gotta go save this guy. I gotta save the kid. And it turns out there's not just collision damage, there's also slash marks on him, and he was trying to escape the community and was like almost killed. And he's by Malachi, and he stumbles into the street where he gets hit. So the guy goes, something's wrong. I didn't kill this kid. I mean, I did, but he was dead. He says a straight line that says he was dead before he walked on the road. No, he wasn't.
He was walking.
He was walking, you dope. He was maybe dying, you know. But so they're trying to find like a doctor or something, and find help for this kid, even though he's dead. When report it and figure out something's going on. The kid was slashed, and then I hit him with my car. And then he stumbles into the small town that's the Children of the Corn, and all these kids are out there, and they're just living on their own, Lord of the Flies style.
Yeah, Lord of the Flies.
But it's all religious, and they're having sermons in the middle of the cornfield, and they've strung up, this police officer they call the Blue Man. He's dead.
Like on a cross.
On a cross.
Like, on the corn.
They got crosses.
Cross.
They got crucifixes made out of corn.
Yeah, crucifix.
They got a corn with a knife sticking out of the cob. It's so goofy, but it really works. This is a super fun horror movie, like an original horror movie that I think they did a remake of last year or maybe even this year that got just almost universally trashed.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one I think is worth your time to watch. So,
all right.
That's Children of the Corn is streaming all over the place, but Amazon Prime, Shudder, Plex, those are the easy places to find it. Next up, I watched a movie from my personal collection. I have the steelbook of this, but it is streaming available on Freevee. Hiya! Streaming service.
Hiya?
It's like martial arts only. Canopy, Peacock, Plex, and Pluto TV. From 2008, this is Ip Man, starring Donnie Yen.
Oh, Ip Man.
Ip Man. Love Ip Man.
Such a good movie.
Yeah, it's so good.
Love it.
So Donnie Yen, Simon Yam, Lian Hong, Hiroyuki Ikeuchi, Lam Kai Tung, and Louis Pham Su Wong. So this is the story of a real man, a real person.
Yeah.
He's from the city of Foshan, and it's set between the 1930s and 1940s during the Second Sino-Japanese War, when Japan invaded into China, and they had an incident called the Marco Polo Bridge incident, which cut off basically supplies to Japan and these huge portions of it cut off supplies to China. and the Canton region of China is where this takes place, where Cantonese is from.
Yeah.
And what was once a thriving like small town with like good commerce and enough wealth for people to be happy, now it turns into basically a wasteland, and these are more or less slave labor under the thumb of the Japanese army.
Yeah.
So when they come to town, they bring taekwondo. No, it's Korea. It's got to be karate, right? I want to say so. Japanese. Karate.
I know there was like a rivalry in martial arts.
Yeah,
in the
there's
movie.
always been forever. So it's like
It's
your
like, this
your
one is
karate
better than the other. or
Yeah, your
whatever.
kung fu versus my karate.
Yeah.
And this general comes to town, his Japanese general, and he basically says, "I want to get all." I've heard that Foshan has all these like great warriors. There's the 5 different houses that are martial arts houses that are training people before we took you over, and if you come and fight me and my men, we're going to be fighting karate. You guys will be fighting kung fu.
Yeah.
If you win, you get a bag of rice. And you
That's
can.
right. It was a bag of rice. Yeah, I remember that.
And the guy, there's a lot of really charismatic characters in this movie. They're really, really well drawn, very like specifically drawn. So a lot of times in martial arts movies, it's like the really powerful guy and then everybody else. Ip Man is the very powerful guy.
Yeah. He's doing like the whole like the pole with the pegs. He's just like,
yeah, the practice board or whatever.
yeah.
He is so far head and shoulders above everybody else that a roaming kung fu wannabe master comes into town and basically challenges all 5 of the houses at the very beginning of the movie to fight and become like the lord of the land.
Yeah.
And he takes down the leaders of all 5 easily, and then goes to Ip Man to say, you're the last master to beat. So he goes directly to his house to try to fight him, and Ip Man is like, "Fine, I'll fight you, but just don't break my stuff in my house because my wife will be mad." And not only does he beat him, the guy pulls out a giant sword at some point to try to essentially kill Ip Man, and he pulls out a feather duster and beats this guy with a feather duster.
Yeah, that's right.
It's so good, and Donnie Yen is so fast.
Yeah.
There's some very good like creative editing and audio editing in this too that makes what already is very good martial arts sound even better and look better by proxy. So there he does this thing that's like the machine gun punching where he like punches the guy 20 times in like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
It's very, very cool. But the other interesting thing about this is that Ip Man in real life, and if you watch it in the original, Cantonese, they call him Ip Sifu, which is Master Ip. In Kung Fu Panda, Master Sifu is the red panda. His name Sifu just means master.
Yeah.
So he's calling him Master Sifu, Ip Sifu, Master Ip. So it's in real life though, that character, that human, that person, not character, he is responsible for training thousands of martial artists.
He trained Bruce Lee, I thought.
At the very end of this, it says his most accomplished and well-known disciple was Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a really interesting movie. It's really good on its own. The production quality is great. And I've been talking about on the show watching these old Shaw Brothers movies from the 70s.
Right,
These Hong Kong, movies that were kind of trailblazing, high quality martial arts movies. This is the thing that this doesn't have that those do is long, unbroken fight choreography where you'll have a sequence that's like 20 to 30 seconds long of 2 people fighting from like a wide shot that you can't cheat, you can't edit, you can't fix anything in post. There's a lot more like modern editing in Ip Man. So it's
it came out like
2008.
Yeah.
But you can still have Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon has long unbroken sequences of fighting.
Sure.
Because the people that are involved, they're really doing these long, advanced, choreographed fight sequences.
Yeah.
In this movie, a lot of that is boiled down to just good editing and quick cuts. It doesn't take away too much from it, but it definitely feels like that's something that we're missing from the original like Shaw Brothers type movies. But this wouldn't exist without those.
Yeah. I think the pacing of it, man, too, was just like really fantastic.
I haven't seen the second one.
I got what you're saying.
Got him. But yeah, it's a easily, quickly paced movie. There's emotional weight to it. There's a fantastic final fight. Honestly, the final fight itself isn't amazing.
Nah.
It's good, but all the fights leading up to it were great. But the actual sequence and like what is wrapped around the fight is really good.
Yeah.
So that's Ip Man 2008, and again, you can stream that on Freevee, Fubo, Hiya, Canopy, Peacock, Plex, and Pluto.
Got a streaming service for everything.
Yeah, I know, really. I'm not going to spend much time about this, but I revisited The Sixth Sense.
Oh, yeah. I almost did.
You okay?
What?
It's like you're having like a
no, because
immediate
like,
reaction to that.
No, because
I said the title and instantly,
yeah,
oh yeah.
No, because like I seriously almost watched this movie last night.
Congratulations.
Because this is on. It looks like it's on Max. Is that yeah?
If you wait just a couple minutes, I'll tell you.
Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
It's okay.
I'm excited. I'm glad that you rewatched it.
Why didn't you watch it?
I fell asleep. I had a long day yesterday.
Okay. So yeah, Sixth Sense is streaming on Fubo and Max. It's the M. Night Shyamalan movie that basically brought M. Night Shyamalan to the world.
Yes.
So sad, so dreary. I'm so glad I rewatched it all these years later. It is just fantastic. The editing is it's interesting. Like, looking back at it now and just thinking how they chose to shoot certain sequences and when they come in on the scene versus when they leave the scene. It's a lot of just fade to blacks and then you start the next scene, which I thought in retrospect, like when I watched it the first time, it didn't seem as strange to me, but now it seems a little jarring, like why there's so many fade to blacks. And it's almost like the way I liken it now is Bruce Willis is almost like me and Brianna were talking and she's like, how would he not know that he's a ghost? How would he not know that? Because how does he know that he just came into this room? You know, if he didn't get let into the house somewhere, he's just sitting in the living room with the kid's mom. And I'm like, the way I think about it is like, it's almost like a dream. Like in Inception, you're like, you remember how you got here?
Right.
And she goes, no, I didn't. It's like, yeah, because you're in your dream. You're here, but you don't know how you got here.
That's a really good analogy.
And for him, he's just like, he's there.
Yeah.
He doesn't think about how
because he was a detective?
Child therapist.
Oh, child therapist.
And he was killed by one of the Wahlbergs, Donnie Wahlberg. Oh. Yeah. So
he thought he was Vietnamese. And
that's Mark Wahlberg.
Oh,
maybe they're both racist. Who knows? I'll give Donnie the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, it's there's a lot of like that sort of fade to black editing that you're like, if you were to spend a little bit more time in the scene, it would be awkward getting Bruce Willis out of the scene. Right. So it just ends, fade to black, and then you start at the next thing. Again, it didn't seem crazy or clunky when I first watched it, but now it seems like, oh, okay, they're doing a lot of that because how else would you get out of this scene without having to, there's no conversation around what just happened. Bruce Willis would have been the first person to talk to, after whatever crazy thing happened from all the other characters, but they just fade to black. So
yeah, I think what's effective about The Sixth Sense is that. So when I first watched it, and like the obvious twist, obviously it's very effective. Yeah. And then, but I think upon a second rewatch, like this is like the movie that's the perfect rewatch because once you know the twist, it recontextualizes the movie. It makes the movie a lot more interesting.
Yeah. You just see it with fresh eyes. So yeah. All right, and then I'm going to blow through the last two. I watched Batman Begins on Max.
Nice.
I watched it from my personal collection, but it is streaming on Max. It's just such a great movie. Pacing's great, characters are great, acting is great. It gives you everything you want. And then I'll be watching The Dark Knight here pretty soon and see if that holds up again. But yeah, Batman Begins is so good. Streaming on Max.
What out of all of the Nolan trilogy Batman suits, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the Batman Begins ones or The Dark Knight or?
I don't prefer anything from The Dark Knight Rises. Nothing. I don't like that movie.
You don't really?
No. There's some good parts in it, but by and large, I don't like it.
Okay.
So I couldn't tell you because I haven't finished rewatching it.
All right.
So, and then lastly, I finished up my Nightmare on Elm Street watch. I'm not going to give my rankings just yet. I haven't put it together yet, but I watched Freddy vs. Jason streaming on Max.
That's an interesting.
I like this movie. This is a fun movie.
That is a fun movie.
Lots of fun.
I think I saw it in theaters.
Probably more of a Freddy movie than a Jason movie at the end of the day. But the creative kills that Freddy enacts is my favorite part of mindless slasher movies.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more Freddy and Jason fighting in this movie. But either way, I'm probably just spoiled because Godzilla versus Kong is nothing but Godzilla and Kong fighting. Well, it's not nothing, but when they do, it's like a long drawn out bit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it, and I just could have used a little bit more of it. But I think this is like the most polished
of
any
year,
of the Freddy movies.
What year did that come out?
03.
Okay, yeah.
The scene of Freddy. The scene of Jason Voorhees walking through the cornfield on a fire is something I'll never forget.
Yes.
So good. And
good.
the fact that Jason is taking Freddy's kills and he's pissed about it is so good.
I forgot about it.
Hey, that's mine. That's my kill. It's like kids playing Fortnite or something.
Yeah.
So that's streaming on Max. If you haven't seen it yet, it may not be the right movie to jump into the franchise in, but it is a fun, more polished version.
If you're familiar with the characters, like it's a fun movie.
Yeah, I watched it before I'd seen any of the Nightmare on Elm Street series.
Really?
Yeah, that was the first Freddy I'd ever been introduced to, and I'm like, oh, this is great.
You were familiar with Freddy Krueger.
I knew the name.
Yeah, you knew the name.
But that's it. And then I rewatched the whole series, and I'm like, I thought this guy's supposed to be fun. The first 3 movies, he's not cracking jokes. It's not funny. It's not campy. It's just bad.
Yeah, that was
It's
later
just bad.
development in his character development. Yeah.
Anything else, Tyler? It's okay to say no.
I guess not. I guess not.
Okay, cool. So thank you to our cool ass yard duties over on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather, Michael, Steven, and Chris. If you want to support us, you can do so at patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass or just watch on the YouTube page. That helps too.
Please. And follow us on...
Yeah, we haven't got there yet. Oh. Forgot to do that? Thank you for joining us as we gab and chatter as the Wicked Witch of the East and David S. Pumpkins. Follow us later on today or later on in the week as we review Paris, Texas. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class and leave us a voicemail. Why don't you? Our new voicemail number, 209-283-1716. Also follow us on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class and on Twitter at Podcast MCFC.
All right, see you next time.
See ya.
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call!
Bueller.
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller.
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimblett to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello, classmates, and welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class Movie Review Edition. I'm your host for today, Pete.
I'm Tyler.
That's right. And no Joseph today. Instead, we're going to be watching in his place 1993's classic kids movie, Surf Ninjas. That'll be playing on the VHS TV for the entirety for the entirety of the review. And I'm David S. Pumpkins, minus the wig because it was cutting off circulation to my brain.
Yes, and I am the Wicked Witch of Tyler.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The Wicked Witch of Sacramento.
The Wicked Witch of Sacramento? Oh, why didn't I think of that? Dang.
I know. It's a unique premise. So anyways, on today's review movie, we're going to be watching my pick from the Wheel of Destiny, Paris, Texas.
I knew these people. They were in love with each other.
Travis, hey. Have you seen Jane or talked to her? We thought you were dead, boy.
He was kind of raggedy and wild. And she was very beautiful. And he loved her more than he ever felt possible. How long have I been gone, do you know?
4 years.
Is 4 years a long time?
It is for a little boy.
Hi.
It just seems like everything has changed between us so fast, ever since Travis came.
You tell me what happened, Travis. Tell me what happened with you and Jane.
I gotta go away now.
Why?
Because I'm gonna find her.
Then come on, let's go.
I was hoping for all kinds of things. But the biggest thing I hoped for can't come true.
Is there something
I don't know. Is there something I can do for you?
Paris, Texas. All right. Paris, Texas from 1984, directed by Wim Wenders, spelled Wim Wenders.
Yeah.
I would never have thought it was Wim Wenders until I had talked with some other cinephiles.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you've never seen anything from Wim Wenders? I'm like, I've never even heard of that dude.
Who's Wim?
Who's Wim Wenders? And then they said, oh, try Paris, Texas, and gosh, what are the other ones? Wings of Desire, I think, is another one. And I'm like, oh, Wim Wenders?
Wim?
Oh, they're probably German. Okay.
Wim.
It's like Werner Herzog.
Yeah.
It's spelled Werner.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
Adapted from the L.M. Kit Carson, I believe, book written by Sam Shepard and Walter Donahue, starring Harry Dean Stanton as Travis, Natasha Kinski as Jane, Dean Stockwell as his brother Walt, Sam Barry, that's a small bar gas station attendant, Aurora Clement as Anne, who is the mother of the child, and a bunch of other people that you probably have never seen before, never heard of before. So it's basically like those three or those four actors, and then the child, the child actor, who I don't think he went on to do anything else, but I think he did a pretty good job.
Yeah, he did.
This movie, the synopsis says, Travis Henderson, an aimless drifter who has been missing for 4 years, wanders out of the desert and must reconnect with society, himself, his life, and his family. The reason I put this on the wheel is because I just thought everybody's talked about this fantastic, gorgeous movie called Paris, Texas, and I don't know anything about it. I don't know the plot. I don't know anything besides Harry Dean Stanton.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. It's in the pantheon of like
mic up to your mouth.
The pantheon of people who are fans of film. Paris, Texas is definitely on the forefront.
Yeah, it's one of the ones that kind of gets noted as like, oh, this scene was inspired by Paris, Texas. This character or this oeuvre, this whole like vibe.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I'd probably call it melancholic, sad and sweet at the same time.
So it's definitely melancholic. I would definitely agree with that.
And and I figured it's really high up on my watch list. If you rate, I use Just Watch, the Just Watch app for one to find where movies are streaming that I want to watch, but I also have my running watch list on there, and you can sort it by the last movie you added, sort it by random, sort it by whatever. And you can also sort it by IMDb rating. So I hit that, look for something right near the top that I've been meaning to watch for a while that I thought would be good to talk about, and Paris, Texas was it. So it is a Criterion release. It is available on Criterion on 4K and Blu-ray. And it won the Palme d'Or when it was originally released at the Cannes Film Festival in 1984.
Wow.
Yeah. So came with a pedigree. Obviously, it's been talked about to death, but nothing that I've ever heard of before.
Yeah.
I think part of the charm of it too is the score by Ry Cooder.
That guitar.
That very like just on its own, kind of very raw guitar. It was so good.
Yeah.
And then Robbie Mueller is the cinematographer that was responsible for making it just a gorgeous movie. So anyways, my first watch, your first watch.
Correct.
Tyler, why don't you give us a reaction to Paris, Texas?
So like we just previously talked about a few seconds ago, this movie has always been talked about in like the film community as being very influential in films coming after that. And I never really gave it much thought to watch it because it just didn't have like a draw to me. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm sure this is a good looking movie, but it was kind of like putting it off, like, I'll check it out eventually.
Did it seem like homework?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
But I, bitten by my own snake, I can't believe I haven't watched it even sooner. After watching this movie, it left me in such an introspective state. It's it's strange because like the story itself is pretty simple. There's not really like it's not like a Place Beyond the Pines sort of kind of story. It's a very straightforward storytelling, and I think that the charisma of the acting is really what sold it, because there's not a lot of writing that's going into the story. It's pretty minimal. But this is a true, I don't want to say it felt like a play, but it feels like you could take the story that was told through this film and put it in almost every medium. Like, you could put it in, I mean, this was based off of a book, right? So you can put it in an audiobook, you could put it as a play. I mean, it's the simplicity of the story is so compelling that I don't know, like it hit all the marks for me. Just like the cinematography, like the use of the music, the setting, even down to the costume design, and just like the sort of like the little like quips that these characters use like through their conversations throughout the film. It felt so, I don't want to say like real life, because it was definitely not real lifey, but
real lifey.
Yeah, but it definitely felt grounded. It felt grounded in reality to where I don't know, like there's something fantastic about this movie that I'm having a hard time putting my finger on it. But like after I watched it, I was like, my God, that was a really, really good movie.
You said it was it made you be introspective,
right?
In what way?
I'm just kind of thinking about, I mean, maybe it's because of where I'm at in life today, as far as like the age that I'm at. More or less, these people are the same age as us, like, because we're in our 30s.
He's way older.
Are they really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Travis is like in his 50s.
Oh, really?
You can't tell by looking at him?
Well, I thought it was just because he was traveling around the Mojave Desert for 4 years that it aged him. But I mean, what do I know?
Okay.
I think it made me introspective in the sense that this was just like it's kind of like when you see a piece of art, like have you ever seen like a original like Vincent van Gogh painting before?
Never in person, no.
Okay. Well, so like when you see like those, like an original, like I've never seen a Claude Monet painting in real life before, but I've seen Vincent van Gogh in real life, and there's something that unlocks in your brain that like starts making you, I wouldn't say like think about life or anything like that, like in like your life, but it's more like thinking about the human condition, and I don't know. It's just
the beauty of life.
Yeah, maybe the beauty of life, whatever. But
whatever the hell that means.
I mean, after I watched this, it was, you know what? I think it's akin to when I first watched The Lighthouse.
Okay.
I watched actually around this time too, because it came out in late October, I think.
Okay.
I went to the Crest Theater in Sacramento by myself, and I watched that movie in a nearly empty theater, and I came out, and it just like it impacted me much in the way that Paris, Texas impacted me. Like it kind of like was like, holy shit, like that was art.
Yeah.
Like that was bona fide human art.
Cool. Good.
So
you liked it.
I loved it. I loved it. This is a masterpiece, and I hate that I slept on it, but I'm glad that I watched it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Good.
yeah. Great stuff.
Cool. Awesome. So I didn't know what to expect in this movie. I didn't know the plot. I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
And the thing that kind of struck me is how deliberate the character growth is, and how like it does not rush through anything.
Yeah.
The story is rather simple. You don't know anything about it, you're learning like about the unraveling of this character so late into the movie. Like Harry Dean Stanton doesn't even talk until like the 26-minute mark of the movie.
Yeah.
And in most movies, that the main character not talking for that long is either like a gimmick, or they're gonna wait until the very end and they say one-liner before they kill the bad guy or whatever, you know. But it really draws you into your thinking, what the fuck happened with this guy? Who would just wander through the desert like that? And that's the first thing you see is him walking in the middle of nowhere. It reminds me of Josh Brolin in No Country for Old Men. You know, they're out there at the drug bust, and these guys are stuck in the middle of the desert, and he's just walking. He's just like he's in a suit. He's got these makeshift ramshackled sort of slippers he's built out of I don't even know what, and a red MAGA hat that he's got on, way ahead of the curve, Travis. And he's just trudging. There's no other way to say it, but he's trudging through the desert. And he finds a gas station and basically collapses after he gets a couple ice cubes in his mouth.
Yeah.
And after
we've all been there.
Yeah, exactly. We all have. And after his brother rescues him and brings him back to civilization in LA, it's like it kind of reminded me of Rain Man. It's Tom Cruise going to get Dustin Hoffman as his brother and bring him back. And he's got his neuroses. He doesn't want to go on the plane. He doesn't like leaving the ground.
He has to have the same car that he was
in.
in.
And you're like, none of that really ever pays off.
Yeah.
Like it almost feels like that character trait with him being that like hyper-focused, idiosyncratic, neurotic sort of character doesn't really play into any part of his character later on in the movie. I was kind of waiting for some explanation for that, and maybe it's just that he lost his mind out in the desert. What do you think?
I don't think it. I think that was if I had a criticism for this movie, it would be that because he goes so he's introduced as this
real quick. You don't like that he shows that character part and it never pays off?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it adds to the mystery of his character though, because that's the draw, because he doesn't say anything.
Yeah, you're just trying to figure out what got him into this place in life. And I just was a little bit surprised that once you figure it all out and it's all about his lost love and coming to terms with he's a piece of shit person and he wanted to remove himself from society. I was like, yeah, but what about like having to get the same car? It just seemed like it kind of came out of nowhere. But anyways, I digress. Once he starts talking and it becomes this father-son reuniting thing, it was like this whole nother movie.
Right.
And in most movies, it's like you have first act is the setup, the second act is all the character development and like the meat of the story, and the third act is the resolution of it. And this, it was that in a way too, but it just felt like that was 200% different movies. Like the tone of the first half was this mystery that almost gets resolved. You know, you still don't get 100% of why it happened. You get that in the very final monologue, but you get a little bit of resolution and you go, oh, okay, well here he's whatever happened, he's back in society. And now this story of him reuniting with his son and like trying to become the father he should have been this whole time was beautiful, was great. And I really, really enjoyed that. And I liked that you get enough of the stand-in family, his uncle, which was acting as his dad, and his wife, the uncle's wife, the French woman who is essentially acting as his mother. He calls her mom.
Yeah.
And that whole thing, there's a lot of complex stuff that wraps in that, and that story is also just left in the dust. It's like there's some very complex things that are happening in this that, you know, get left to nothing, which is fine, because what you then transition to in the third act is his relationship with his ex-wife.
Yeah.
And that in itself was fascinating too, where she has been, what she's doing to, you know, make her way, and almost like once she realizes that her life can be the way it used to be and she can reconnect with her boy, and kind of getting the closure from Travis, that he's acknowledging the fact that he was a scumbag and he was the problem, and just giving her that closure. It's almost like, you know, when your loved ones disappears and you assume they're dead.
That's what That's what his brother said.
Everybody assumes they were dead.
They just eventually stopped trying to look for him. They're just like, oh, we thought you were dead. You disappeared for 4 years. So,
but in the context of the story here, she like lit the trailer on fire and took the boy and like left, right?
Dropped him off at his brother's
dropped him
house,
off.
and then she went to be a high-class hua.
Yeah, so she sex worker, Tyler. She bounced, and she just assumed the kid's going to get raised by this family who's well-to-do, and
she's still like putting money. She opened a bank account for Hunter, who's the child, and that's how they found her. But
let me finish. So that whole story, it's like, forget about the kid, forget about the uncle and the wife, forget about the mystery of why he's wandering through the desert. Now you're just trying to get Tyler is a human Sun Chips bag.
Yes, that's absolutely correct.
This is what, imagine that, like, but 20 times. That's like what it's like watching a movie with Tyler in the theater. Yeah. Whenever it's the most quietest scene, he pulls out his candy, starts rummaging through the candy, looking for a snack, and he's like, "What'd that guy say? What'd that guy say when I said what that guy say?" Anyways, but yeah, their resolution in that whole like monologue, the tete-a-tete they have, where they're talking back and forth with each other and trying to figure out. She's trying to figure out who's on the other side of the glass, or if it's Travis, and he's just kind of trauma dumping on her and coming clean. He's like getting all the monkeys off his back that he's had for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
So good. So good.
It is. That was that went on for like 20 minutes.
It was long. And that's the only scene that I've seen from this. I didn't see the entirety of the scene, but I've seen a lot of like compilation lists that are talking about whatever it might be, and I just seen that. I'm like, what is this person in a snuff? Are they like held hostage in this room? It looks like they're in an interrogation room, but looks like a hotel room.
Yeah, it's like,
and then the camera flips around, and it's this unfinished wall with insulation.
Yeah,
and it just shows just how shitty that porn house was ramshackled together. Yeah. You know, and it's like I had no idea what it was, but when it kind of got there and we finally see it in context of the movie, I'm like, wow, that's a sleazy place to have an awakening, you know, to finally come to Jesus and come clean with yourself. So when it was all said and done, I love the ending. I think it's heartbreaking that he was not part of it, not part of his boy's life moving forward.
Yeah.
But man, just watching Hunter, you know, jump onto his mom and hug her, and the emotion that I just can't imagine the two of them were feeling together. And almost just like I felt like in that moment when Travis finally came back and came clean about the whole thing, it was almost like he was giving her permission to reset life and start back over with Hunter.
Yeah.
You know, like she could have done it the whole time. She could have just came in and said, "I'll take care of my boy," or whatever. But as soon as Travis basically
he was like the bridge.
Yeah. He was the catalyst to make it happen. So yeah, beautiful movie, fantastic score. Besides maybe Dean Stockwell's acting, I didn't love his character too much. Yeah. He was just kind of like a very middle of the road character. I didn't think one way good or bad the otherwise, but his acting was fine. Everybody else was just absolutely 100% on peak all the time.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think, but the thing is, like, I think you needed that character for the story that was being told.
I guess.
Like,
he's just
because he was kind of like
he's just driving the story forward near the beginning.
Yeah.
So yeah, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was great. What about Joseph? Oh, we don't have Joseph here, but we have Surf Ninjas still playing. If you're on the audio,
that's all you need to know.
If you're on the audio only stream, you have no idea what we're talking about. But you should come over to the YouTube and watch some watch me and
Surf Ninjas.
Well, yeah, watch me and Joseph and Tyler, you know, make crack wise every Saturday at 12:30 p.m. on the YouTube channel. But today you get the special treat. You get to watch Surf Ninjas.
Yeah.
I guarantee this is the only review you'll ever see of Paris, Texas, where you also get to watch the entire movie of Surf Ninjas. But I do have a review from Joseph. He watched it. He logged it on Letterboxd. And here is his review. Could this be the slowest burning movie ever? While it's definitely not a movie that's in a hurry whatsoever, there are definitely captivating moments throughout. Not knowing everything that is wrong with the dude and only getting small crumbs throughout until we get everything at the very end kept me engaged. It slogs a bit here and there, but overall, I was interested to see where it was going, and I really like the idea of a man who realizes he's a piece of shit, who then removes himself from society just to wander, regret, and eventually forget aspects of his life entirely and the choices he made. It crawled a little bit, but I still enjoyed it by the end. Grade A.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's...
I can't disagree with any of those things.
I think with this movie, as far as the beginning of it, this is a movie that definitely subverted my expectations because I thought like he got into some bad crowd with him and I knew something with him and his lady love, something happened there. Like that was not that much was obvious, but with him being like a mute and being confused and being a complete idiot, just traversing the Mojave Desert with only a gallon jug of water.
Yeah.
And no clothes to accommodate for the desert. It got me thinking like something really messed up happened. And then when we get to the end, it was just, oh, his lady love burned his house down and took his kid away from him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people are different. Some
people are different. You can't judge.
Some people would decide to restart their life, and other people just walk aimlessly to Paris to buy a plot of land in Paris, Texas, which I was actually really sad that did not pay off in the end.
What?
That the land in Paris, Texas, like it's mentioned throughout the whole movie, but
yeah, he bought the land because he said that's where his mom and dad met,
which is weird on its own. Like,
why?
That's just like saying like, oh, I'm gonna buy the house that I was conceived at.
So what's wrong with that? Now, if you're talking about the bed that you were conceived in. These sheets, this condom is the one that broke. The night I was conceived, my dad saved it, put it in my scrapbook. I wash it out and you wear it from time to time.
I mean,
just for the memories.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Now that's weird.
Well, yeah, of course that's weird.
You don't think that? Do you think that when someone says, you know, this house has been in our family for 5 generations. My great-granddad built it with his own 2 hands.
No, I don't think that's weird. I think,
but that's what they're doing. They're buying the house where their parents fucked and made them.
Yeah, but that was the reason. Grandparents. That was the reasoning, though. If you recall, he said, "Oh, I bought this land because this is apparently where my mom first made love to my dad." It's like, what?
Yeah,
what?
Because it made him. It's his origin story. It's his origin story, Tyler.
I don't know.
We all need an origin story. Where were you conceived?
But.
Should I text your mom?
Please don't.
Jamie,
please.
Where were you when Tyler was conceived?
God, no.
Give me the day exactly.
Time of day.
It's April. What's your birthday? April what?
April 25th.
Yeah, I was gonna say 24.
I was born at 2 p.m. 2:05, 2:30.
You know the time you were born?
Yeah.
Do you know what star sign you are?
I can't tell you.
You can't tell you. You know it exactly the minute you were born. What city were you born in?
Sacramento.
Oh, cool.
Yep, born and raised.
Nice.
But I think that what really drew me into this movie was the whole mystery of him like not speaking, like him just like aimlessly walking around and having like this neurosis of having to be in the same rental car that he was picked up in from his brother. And like not being able to fly planes, which by the way, like I never knew like an airplane could just stop midway on a runway to let someone off because they were scared of flying. And I think they even make a comment saying, I can't keep stopping every flight for someone who's afraid of flying.
That's true. Yeah.
You should have rented a private plane. It's like, come on, lady.
Yeah. Tyler, you were conceived in July then.
What?
If July 20...
I was not.
Yeah, July, conceived. If you were born in April, that means you were conceived in July.
Oh, man.
And it was the 24th, you said? 25th? 25th? What was happening on that weekend? That's what I want to know.
Wait a minute.
Jamie getting herself into.
Wait a minute. No, we don't need to get into this.
Anyways.
Some weird concert.
I know. Oh, we got to look now and find out what concert was in Sacramento on the weekend of the 22nd of July, 1992. Actually, it would have been 1991.
Yeah, 91. Yeah. But man, the cinematography in this movie was really good. Like it just like really drew you in, and the
thing I thought was interesting about it too was it gives you a really unique look at the American Southwest.
Yeah.
In a way that it's almost like there you go. That bag. I love the costume. The bag just cracks me up how loud it is.
I'm slipping on this chair because of it.
I'm sure.
I keep myself anchored.
But what was I going to say? It's like you're going from a seedy, dusty gas station to
L.A.
No, that was in where he first found civilization. We get the ice cubes.
Oh,
seedy, dusty gas station, and then that like weird doctor that's looking at him and trying to like
the
fight
German
him.
doctor.
Yeah, it's like he seems like like he's inspecting a dog or something. He's like forcing his head out. All right, let me look in your ears. I hear you. You can hear me.
I mean, that's how they do it out there in the Southwest.
I guess. And that little slice of life, and then his brother finds him on the railroad tracks at some point.
Yeah.
And I just love the way that the dialogue is written. It seems, I know you said it doesn't seem real lifey. I think that was the phrase you used.
Yeah.
I think it feels like more like a real conversation that these people are actually having. When he's talking, he's like, where you going? Trav, where you going? What's out there for you, man? There's nothing. And he just like looks at him like a scared dog and looks out in the wilderness, and he's like, there's nothing for you out there.
Yeah.
Come home with me. And most of the conversations like between him and his son, or even like him and the housekeeper when she's trying to help him dress up and look like a father.
Yeah.
It's all just it's so wholesome until you get into the smut of the the porn house or the whorehouse or whatever it's called.
It is. Yeah.
Weird like Boondock Saints style private room, one-way glass.
It's like a explicit confessional booth.
All right, Tyler, quick question. You're in one of those booths. What do you talk about with the prostitute?
Oh wow. I probably would say. So, who do you think was the thing at the end of the thing?
You're asking her. You asking
was
her?
It McCready
was
or
it McCready or
Childs?
Childs? Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I don't trust Keith David's character.
That's always been a thing with me. Like if I, God forbid, ever hired a woman of the night, there would be nothing explicit going on during that 1 hour. It would be me ranting, annoying that person probably with my ranting, and then eventually just like, okay, well, here's your $250. Thank you for the conversation. Oh wait, hold on, I have a minute. Can I bust one really quick?
Can I get one off? It was kind
I
of.
only have 60 seconds.
That's super funny.
Do you want to talk about Paris, Texas? It's such a great movie. Actually, you know what? You want to watch it?
Let's watch the movie.
I'll pay you an extra $50 to watch it with me.
$50 for a 3-hour movie?
It's only 2.5 hours.
I don't know. It's pretty long.
It didn't even feel that long, too. That's the cool thing about this movie was, like, I didn't... Like Joseph said in his review that it slogged a little bit, and I could see, like...
A little bit in the middle, maybe.
Probably in the middle, it slogged just a little bit, but, like, not enough to the point where it lost my interest. It was kind of like, okay, like, let's pick it up here a little bit, and then it did pick up. But I think... What I really also appreciate about this movie is just like the simplicity of it all. Like it's the simplicity and the complex emotions of the characters is that yeah, the story is okay. So this guy, he's wandering aimlessly through the desert, gets picked up, has like neurosis from his trauma that he experienced for the past 4 years, and then he's slowly being reintroduced into our current society, and then but the way that the characters act and emote through their day-to-day lives, like it's so relatable in a sense. I know I said what the dialogue wasn't real lifey, but
I love that phrase. It's a new one, real lifey.
But I mean, that's okay because the subject, like, not even the subject matter. It's just like the way that it's approached with the current like plot it's very grounded in reality. And again, it's just the acting is just incredibly well done. And
hey, before you move on, Angry Otter in the chat is dropping some truth bombs on us.
Oh.
Yeah, he says, Right Here, Right Now by Jesus Jones came out when you were conceived, Tyler. That could be your origin story, buddy.
Jesus Jones?
Yeah, Jesus Jones. Here's the song. I love that.
Son of a bitch.
I love that. Very good. Very
Son
good.
of a bitch.
I didn't know. Otter says, seriously, Pete? Jesus Jones? You don't know who that is? I didn't know that. I know the song.
No one knows Jesus Jones, Angry Otter.
Oh, he does. Your mom does. I guarantee that. That's for damn sure.
Good.
Yeah, we didn't get kicked off, so hopefully that song's not copyrighted.
Right.
I guess.
Good. So Paris, Texas came out in 1984, right? That's what you said? I wonder, like, if this movie became more popular in the future or past 1984, or was this like a movie that was beloved?
Well, it won the Palme d'Or.
Well,
It's like the best movie at Cannes.
But was it nominated for any Oscars? I didn't look up any trivia for this.
No, I didn't.
I'm super surprised by that. I mean, 1984, like you had like Amadeus.
Let's see here. 1984 movies. Let's see here. Cheech and Chong's The Corsican Brothers. Top Secret. Dune. That's David Lynch's Dune.
Children of
the Corn we just talked about. The First Police Academy. Blood Simple. Roadhouse. Roadhouse 66. That's not Roadhouse. Let's see what else is on here. Secret Honor. Hard Bodies. Company of Wolves. Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter. Firestarter with Drew Barrymore. Tightrope. What is this? The Woman in Red. 1984 action movies. Here's some indie movies. Paris, Texas is the first listed one in indie movies.
Okay.
Ooh, Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo.
That's the second one.
Nightmare on Elm Street, the original came out.
Okay.
Up a Creek, Repo Man.
All right. I mean,
nothing like that really is sticking out, and I'm sure we're missing a big one.
Amadeus.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
There's Amadeus. Stop Making Sense. The
Purple Rain. Yeah.
Yeah. Muppets Take Manhattan. Yeah, looks like there's a fair. Oh, the sequel to 2001 came out, 2010, the year we made contact. That's actually a pretty good movie. Buckaroo Banzai, Across the Eighth Dimension, 16 Candles, Red Dawn, Oxford Blues.
Damn.
Meatballs Part 2, Gremlins. Oh, here we go. Gremlins, Ghostbusters, Night of the Comet, The Toxic Avenger, Frankenweenie. And yeah, there's all kinds of movies.
1984 was a pretty good year for movies.
Yeah.
I mean,
The Terminator, The Karate Kid.
Jesus Christ, yeah. I can't even
Once
imagine.
Upon a Time in America, Romancing the Stone, Body Double,
Like,
The
can you
Never Ending
imagine
Story.
being like 25 in 1984? Like that would have been like a golden year.
Temple of Doom.
Oh my god.
This is Spinal Tap. Interesting.
The Last Starfighter.
Yeah, Last Starfighter. Nausicaa, The Valley of the Wind.
Like if you could be like 26 or 27.
Streets of Fire, Walter Hill's Streets of Fire. I love that movie.
If you were like 26 or 27 in 1984, that would have been, for us who like movies, like that would have been a perfect year.
I was -2.
I know. I was only just a little tadpole in some man's testicles.
You were just you just heard Right Here, Right Now by Jesus Jones, and you started wiggling your way out.
I was like, right here, right now.
I'm getting born. I have a comment from our old pal Matt Stillman. He commented on our last video for Olympus Has Fallen. He says, great episode. Definitely looking forward to Paris, Texas discussion. I've been working my way through Wim Wenders' filmography, and I asked him for a couple other Wim Wenders recommendations. He said Perfect Days, which just came out. That was from 2023. It's about I want to say like a janitor. It's just the life of a janitor in Japan. I think that's what it's about. And it's just like he lives a very, very simple life.
Sounds like a perfect day to me.
Yeah, Perfect Days. And then Tokyo, I don't know if it's Ga or Georgia, G-A. And Pina are all great, he says.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I actually want to check out more of his filmography as well. Because
he looks exactly like I would have expected.
Oh my God, he does. He really
We're
does.
on his IMDb right now.
He really does. Wim Wenders. Oh man, he looks cool, man.
Yeah, he looks dope.
He looks like a really cool dude. I really wish
a righteous
that
dude.
What I feel like the title of Paris, Texas came from is I think he came up with that joke. Like, yeah, because the running gag is that Travis's father, when he was with his wife, would say that, oh, this is a girl I met in Paris.
Yeah.
And then he would wait. Oh, Paris, Texas.
Yeah.
Like, that's funny.
I
would. That's really funny. I would have, like, if someone told me that, I would have had a good hearty laugh.
I think it's more like cute and clever, maybe.
It is cute and clever, and it's funny. Like, even from like another, like from an audience perspective, and from like that's a joke that I would say too.
I thought the same thing when he was saying it. I'm like, yeah, Tyler would tell this joke and just like, be busting up before you even finish the joke. But it's not Paris, France. It's in Texas.
Yeah, that's totally something I would do.
Here's the IMDb for Wim Wenders. Where is it? There we go. I got it on the screen now. Yeah, looks exactly like the Oscar-nominated German filmmaker born Ernst Wilhelm Wenders. Wilhelm Wenders.
I feel like I even know what he sounds like too.
He sounds like Werner Herzog.
Yeah.
Man, look at this guy. What a cool look.
He looks cool, man.
Yeah, he looks exactly like a dude that would make this kind of movie.
Yeah.
All right. Any specific scenes you wanted to call out? You wanted to mention? I get into some trivia.
I think the beginning of the movie is really what drew me in. Just like that, like him. You can tell like he is just like haggard. Just you can tell he's been walking the desert for God knows how long. And there's that one shot where he like takes like the last bit of water from the jug like to drink it, and then he just throws it to the ground, and then he just like pretty much more or less stumbles to the just a straight line. I thought it was really interesting that he was just walking to Paris, Texas, like in a straight line. Like he knew it on the map.
Is that where he did it confirm that's where he was trying to get to?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where he was trying to get to. Like that was like his whole goal because of like the whatever trauma that was put upon him. It's kind of like a
self-inflicted trauma.
Yeah, it was like a Forrest Gump sort of situation where like he just like where Forrest Gump just starts running.
Oh, that's good. I didn't even think about that.
Like that's kind of what I was thinking. Like he just started walking in like this one specific location, and then then just it sort of ends. And then obviously like the back and forth with the ex-lover. Between the two-way class,
ex-lover.
That was a very very captivating back and forth. I was I wouldn't say on the edge of my seat, but like I was glued to the screen. it kind of got to the point where she obviously knew it was Travis, but I feel like she was emoting it in a way where she didn't want to believe it was him. Like she wanted to believe it was just the story that was just reminding her of her previous life. So that was just incredible acting on both of the characters' parts that weren't even looking at each other, and it was such a one-sided conversation as well. Like all she was saying, like, "Tell me more."
There's a lot to unpack in those long. And I call it a monologue, but there's a little back and forth. That just long monologue.
Yeah.
By the way, Harry Dean Stanton was 58 when he made this movie.
Really?
Yeah, and she was 24.
Oh.
Yeah. 24 or 23 or something like that.
Oh.
So
interesting.
I think Matt said something about that. How he said that in real life she was married to Quincy Jones, who was a lot older than her as well. He said when he first watched it, that was the age difference threw him off. He's like, "Come on, that's not realistic." But then she, in real life, has an affinity for older men, anyway. So
yeah, well, I mean, whatever floats your boat, man.
It is strange. It is strange. I mean, she is a absolutely gorgeous woman.
Yeah,
completely. And I'm not saying that looks are everything, but like old man Harry Dean Stanton is he's like if you go based off of the age they were in the present in the movie was the age that the actors were, then he would have been 58, she would have been 23. So when they were together, she would have been 19 and he would have been 54. 19 and 54.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
I mean, like, it's interesting nuts. Because, like, when I see, like...
Even Leonardo DiCaprio isn't bringing in 19-year-olds at that age. He at least waits for him to be, like, 22.
Yeah.
23.
I know, it's...
Old enough to drink.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I got it. I mean, who's gonna share his champagne with?
That's true.
But,
yeah. Can you go get me a drink from the bar, baby? Sorry, I can't. I'm 19 years old.
I mean, it's just. Is it like a Harold and Maude situation? Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
But
you want to do some trivia?
Yeah.
Okay, so this movie is Harry Dean Stanton's favorite from his own filmography.
Probably paid him the most.
I doubt that highly. These are not commercial successes generally.
Oh.
They're art house movies. I mean, he did Alien. He did Straight Story.
I'm not talking about money.
Oh, there you go. During the scene in the Texas airport, Dean Stockwell's character is on the phone. That's his brother. With his wife, the PA announcer can be heard saying, "A message for Joy Stockwell. Joy Stockwell. Austin will arrive any minute." Joy was Dean's wife, and Austin, his son, was born during the production of the film.
Oh.
So she was being paged, and they were basically saying, "Your kid's coming." So she wasn't. They weren't paging Dean Stockwell. They were paging Joy Stockwell, his wife, during production, and it was in the final cut. Harry Dean Stanton doesn't speak until the 26-minute point in the film. Yeah, that's wild. Kurt Cobain and Elliott Smith claim this was their favorite movies of all time, both of them. Right? What does that mean?
Fucking hipsters. They're dead now.
It's true. So their opinions don't matter. This is also Akira Kurosawa's favorite movie.
Really?
Yeah. It says one of. The famous Scottish band Texas took their name from the title of this film, while fellow Scottish band Travis are named after the main character. I never heard either of those bands.
Never heard neither of them.
The working title during production was called Motel Chronicles, and then changed later. The bar where Travis collapses near the beginning of the film was called the Camel. It doesn't exist anymore, but it was on Highway 118 in Brewster County, Texas, 3 miles south of the doctor's office that is actually an American Legion Hall. The man whose shadow is seen when Travis enters the club was director Wim Wenders. Let's see here. The film's also included on Roger Ebert's great movies list. That's got to be a good list.
Fucking Ebert, man.
You don't like Roger Ebert?
Mortal enemy.
Why? Give me one good reason.
Because he's a great
film critic.
No, he isn't.
It's everything you aspire to be.
No, he's no.
Speaker
stale
mine.
bread.
Stale bread.
Stale bread.
Speaker mine. I want to hear the hate mail.
And his opinion on Die Hard was abysmal. No.
Okay. What was his opinion on Die Hard?
He didn't like it.
He also didn't like Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
He like doxed the filmmakers and stuff.
Yeah, he's a pudgy little piece of shit.
All
Rest
right,
in peace.
listeners, you can MCFC podcast at gmail.com. Please send your hate mail to Tyler. We haven't got to do better in a while. We want some hate mail from Tyler.
That's true.
Let's see here. What else do we got here? It's also listed on the 1001 Movies You Should See Before You Die, edited by Steven Schneider. It's part of the Criterion Collection, spine number 501. It's a 1959 Ford Ranchero. I thought it was a 57, but now I think about it, I think 59 might have been the first year of the Ranchero.
I wonder what the Criterion... So it says it's 501 on the spine, right? Is that like the ranking of like...
When it was released.
Oh, when it's released. Okay. I didn't know if it was like because it's like the 501st best movie in the Criterion Collection.
No, it's printed on the spine, so they wouldn't be able to change that as the rankings change. Yeah. So... and I don't think every Criterion release has a spine number. Like there's collections. Like if you get the Before trilogy, that box set doesn't have a spine number, but I think the individual movies within them do. Oh. I think. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. But if you go on Criterion's website and you go to their store, you can search by spine number. You can search in order. And then there's some that just don't have a spine number. And I think those are usually the box sets.
What's that YouTube series they do with... like celebrities, they go into like a closet of DVDs.
Oh, the Criterion closet.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah, what is it? Just go into my VHS room?
No, we should contact Criterion and have us go in there and pick out movies.
Well, the last person who was in there was like Andrew Garfield and
Florence Pugh.
No, probably. And what's his name?
They're making Wild Love in
from
there.
Barry. What's his name?
Oh, Bill Hader?
Yeah, Bill Hader. So naturally, next in line is us dickheads dressed up as David S. Pumpkins and the Wicked Witch of Sacramento.
Wearing a trash bag.
Well, Criterion actually, they made a mobile closet in a van.
I heard about
van,
that, yeah.
And people were waiting for like 4 hours in the rain to go into the closet.
That's insane.
And you don't get the discs for free. You got to pay for them. Yeah, dude, it's like you're waiting in line 4 hours to stand in the mobile closet, get your picture taken, which advertises more for Criterion. It's like, it's a weird thing. All that being said, I would probably still do it, but I wouldn't wait 4 hours.
I think I would.
I just think it's cool to be surrounded like a library with DVDs and Blu-rays. Let's see. The film, it's the Paris, Texas, is the official top 250 narrative features on Letterboxd.
Okay. High accolades.
Yeah. Trying to think if there's anything else. Natasha Kinski's first appearance takes place more than 53 minutes into the film. Yeah, I thought that was weird too. I thought she was like the second main character.
Yeah.
And you don't even see her until like
pretty much the third act.
Well, you see her in the film, the family footage.
Oh yeah, the Super 8.
The home video.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, anyways, that's everything I got for it. You want to say anything else before we give our grades?
I mean,
hey, Heather's in the chat.
Hey, Heather.
Hi, Heather.
I think really, this is kind of like the film that's like the essence of the ethos of our show is like this. Like this movie is homework, but this was good homework. Like I learned something.
What'd you learn? Tell us what you learned.
I learned how to watch a good movie.
Oh, okay. How is this the essence of our show, though? Because we're homework?
No, because it's called Middle Class Film Class, and I feel like this is a film that would be shown in a film class for
that's true.
middle class people.
For middle class people. All right, that's fair. Okay, Tyler, why don't you go ahead and give your final grade for Paris, Texas?
A.
That's it.
Solid A. Just it's a damn near perfect movie. It's a damn near perfect movie. I wish that they didn't lean more on the neurosis part in the beginning. However, that's so easily that you can overlook that because the second and third act of the movie just really sucks you in. And I think the whole father son rekindling aspect of the story.
Yeah.
It didn't feel. I don't think forced is the right term that I'm looking for, but it didn't feel ham-fisted into the story. It felt like a very, like you said, like a natural progression of character development. It didn't feel like you
didn't feel like it was a production. You felt like it was more or less real.
I mean, I guess I could characterize it as that as well. Like it's kind of like there's a Steve Carell movie that kind of like does like the whole father-son thing.
Dan in Real Life.
I don't know if it's Dan in real life.
Is it Silver Linings? No, Crazy Stupid Love.
It's the actually. I'm thinking about
A Beautiful Boy.
Yes,
with Chalamet.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So it didn't feel like it was ham-fisted to where the whole story was about them rekindling their relationship. It was just more so that this guy, he was a fuck up. He went through something really traumatic, and then he self-inflicted himself to be a bad person for 4 years. Probably couldn't find the end of the bottle, and then got rescued by his brother, and then started like rekindling like his personality. Knowing, like, I mean, the scene in the diner between him and his brother, where the brother is telling him like, 4 years is a long time for like, that's half of a little boy's life. And you can see like the single tears coming out of Travis's eyes, which felt so real because he's not going to be like unconsolable and sobbing and stuff. It's kind of like him
realizing he fucked up.
Like he was like catatonic, like when he was first picked up, and like him like just like kind of coming to terms with the reality of him having a little boy that he hasn't been a part of for like, I wouldn't say formative years, but like a pretty important part of his life in growing up. And like he's kind of like starting to realize like, what have I done? So I think that it peppers in like these realistic human emotions, but it's also not forced. It doesn't feel forced. It just feels naturally progressive. And then when it really pays off in the end, when you realize, I mean, again, I thought this guy was a lot younger. I didn't know he was in his 50s. So, but regardless of his age, he went through a life-changing experience, and it shows. And him, like, basically being in like a confessional box at a porn house place.
Continue.
Really put tied the bow on this package that is Paris, Texas. So yeah, definitely a solid A for me. Great movie, near perfect.
Could you recommend this to people?
Oh yeah.
Who would you recommend this to?
Anyone in a public restroom.
When will you recommend this to people?
The next time in a public restroom.
Okay, great. All right, so I'm gonna give my grade, A. Also, not quite an A plus.
Yeah, not an A plus.
Maybe on a rewatch, or maybe if I'm in that right mode in my life where I feel like a little down on myself, a little depressed, and I put this on and it just scratches that like sad itch. I could see it maybe going up a little bit, but gorgeous, amazingly acted, characters that are rich and deep, a mystery that gets resolved, but not in the way you think it is. Fantastic score. I believed every part of the entire thing. And there's the character growth from this like catatonic weirdo walking through the desert to somebody rekindling his relationship with his son, to coming clean about his terrible past and the things he's done, and just how he's fucked up this woman's life and is taking responsibility for it. It's like there's so much there.
She's not blameless either, though. She burned his house down.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, he sounded like maybe he didn't deserve it.
He was asking for it.
Yeah.
Ow.
Oh, oops. That's not that one.
Somehow. I don't know why. It still worked, though.
I could have sworn I had the drop for Dallas where he says, I don't know if he deserved to die. That's all right. I can't find it. I'm not sitting at the board, so I'm kind of looking through from the side. So, anyways, yeah, a fantastic movie. I'd recommend more people to watch it. It was really, really well done.
Yeah.
And Joseph, how about you? Oh, never mind. We just have surf ninjas. Oh man, those ninjas are kicking ass. Look at that.
I think there's nothing more to be said. Yep.
I know.
They got two babes and kick ass.
They said it all. That's a guy.
Yeah.
One of those is a guy.
Yep.
He just has long hair, Tyler. Very discriminatory. All right.
Oh, really?
Anyways, that's it for Paris, Texas. Now it's time for the Wheel of Destiny.
1 wheel, 8 slots, 3 hosts. This is the Wheel of Destiny.
All right. Paris, Texas is off the wheel. And I'm going to take a page out of what we used to do way back in the day. And I'm going to donate my slot to one of Tyler's picks, Broadcast News.
Oh.
I've done this a couple times. I've been really excited to watch it. And for whatever reason, your slots are cursed on the wheel.
I know.
So I want to watch Broadcast News. I think it's going to be a fun watch. And
I've heard really good things about it.
Yeah, I also don't know anything about it either. I know that you're pretty much going in blind. So we'll see what that. And they're right next to each other on the board, so it makes sense. Here's the thing here. Okay, cool. So I'm going to recap the wheel. We have Broadcast News from Pete and Tyler, Cyrus from Tyler, Paul Blart from Joseph, The Hunt, the Mads Mikkelsen The Hunt with Joseph, Lars and the Real Girl from Chris, Identity from Ryan from 2003, and Falling in Love Like in Movies from Pete. So I'm going to spin this here. I'm going to go in reverse direction this time. And this is going to be what we watch next week. Ooh, it's Identity.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was hoping it was going to go on Lars and the Real Girl. I haven't watched that movie in a minute.
Well, this is according to Joseph, it's a good Halloween movie.
Oh.
So by the time we're recording this episode, it'll be past Halloween.
Yeah.
But we'll be able to watch it on Halloween.
Yeah.
Or before or whatever, you know. we got a few days. Right now it's Saturday, the 26th. Halloween's on this coming Thursday. And then we'll record the next episode on November 2nd, the Saturday, November 2nd. So anything else you got, Joseph or Tyler?
No.
No, you good? You good? Thanks for dressing up.
Thank you.
Joseph said earlier in the chat, he said, the one time Tyler puts effort in the show, I'm not even there.
Oh, thank you, Joseph.
Yeah, you're gone. You're gone. But yeah, thank you for everyone for watching on the YouTube. We really appreciate it. Everyone in the chat.
You.
A little bit of a lively chat in the first half, not so much in the back half, but that's okay. If you want to support us on the YouTube, please share with a friend. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Right now we're at 764.
We're almost there.
Yeah, we're getting there. Last week at this time, we were at 750. So we got 14 new subscribers since last week.
Yeah.
That's not bad. 2 a day. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
If we keep going like that, maybe we'll beat 1,000 by end of January, maybe?
Maybe we can create like a character AI.
What does that mean?
You remember the 14-year-old kid who created an AI character and chatted with it and then unalived himself?
Why are you bringing that up?
Well, because maybe we can have a bunch of AI bots giving us more subscribers. I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm saying.
What about our entire run of the show leads you to believe that we should have it? We would even want to have AI bots assisting with us.
I don't know.
Are you going to lead that charge and then unalive yourself too?
Maybe.
Please don't.
Okay.
Yeah. How about this? How about we just run another promo and give away some more physical media?
Yes.
Heather says, it is. I love Identity. She's on board.
All right.
Yes.
Well, I always trust Heather's opinion on all film.
Except for Kentucky Fried Movie. Oh, you think I forgot? I didn't forget. I guarantee Heather didn't either.
Oh, she did not.
No, she did not. So we are almost done with Surf Ninjas. And with just the two of us here, these episodes are a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
Which is sad because we didn't even get to the end of the Boogans last episode or Surf Ninjas. But maybe we'll figure out something. Maybe we could do this again, except we'll get a fourth camera.
Oh, yeah.
It'll just be down in the bottom corner.
That'd be good motivation for people to tune in.
I guess.
I want to watch Surf Ninjas.
I want to watch Surf Ninjas in a 2x2 square in the corner of this stream.
I mean,
These
you know what's
idiots.
funny? You know what's funny is I would do that.
Probably.
There is an audience for that.
That's your cred.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched Dune Part 2 during a live stream event.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, they were streaming that movie? No, it was a podcast, but they had it in the corner.
They had it in the corner. It's kind of like when Adult Swim,
Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie?
Yeah, they put the Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie like in like a small box, like during their like regularly scheduled programming.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, they do some weird stuff. I mean, Adult Swim, Cartoon Network, I love it when they do the fun stuff like that.
They don't really do that anymore.
Oh, really?
No, but that was kind of like a early 2000s thing. I really advocate for like the weird. I mean, no one really has cable TV anymore, so they're not going to watch it. So
just because you and I don't doesn't mean no one has it. They're still out there.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyways, thank you to our cool ass yard duties over on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather in the chat, Michael, Steven, and Chris. And if you want to support us, you can do so at patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass, or just watch or listen on the YouTube page. That helps too. We're looking for 1,000 subscribers so you can share with a friend. If you watch on the YouTube channel, it builds up our hours, which is ultimately what we're working for. We're trying to get to that point where we can actually make a little bit of money on this show.
Yeah.
And it's we'd like to do it, but we like it a little bit better if we can actually make some money from it.
Yeah.
And the people on the Patreon that they're supporting us, they're donating their hard-earned money every single week, and we really appreciate y'all. If you don't have money to be able to give for that, just watch us on YouTube. You can do that without any financial impact to yourself whatsoever. So, until next time. Thank you for joining us on the live stream as we review Paris, Texas, and Gab and Chatter and all that good stuff. Follow us next week as we review Identity, Ryan's pick from the Wheel of Destiny. Maybe we can call him, get him on the show.
Yeah.
Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class, and leave us a voicemail at our new voicemail number, 209-283-1716. Follow us on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class, and on Twitter at Podcast MCFC.
That's right. We'll see you next time.
See ya.